Fishy, fishy, fishy!
What's going on, fishy friends? Alright, long overdue update. I have been quite busy and have not had any chance to try to shoot an update in, geez, a couple of weeks now it might be. Everything is moving along swimmingly in the fish room. Just about everything's the same. I've just been too busy to update, but not much has changed. A couple other rams over here. Everybody's looking good. A little bit of algae in the tank. The juvies are doing quite well. They're growing, they're eating. They're still a little skittish. They still like to run and hide whenever I come near the tank. But for the most part, I think they look pretty good. Hard to see them in this tank. I don't really have a good light on this tank either. The two red covers haven't been doing much for me. I just threw in some beef heart in the tank and they've been eating some of that. I've not seen any spawning activity from these guys. I did have that spawn from this pair a little while back. Nothing much else to speak of with these guys. The Epistogramma cockatoides triple reds. I've gotten a couple of spawns out of these guys. There's the female now. There's the male. Hopefully he'll flare up that top fin, extend that dorsal. He's not going to do it now. These guys seem to spawn every 7 to 10 days for me. There's no fry in the tank currently. I'm not sure. I'm missing something here. I can't get the fry to survive more than maybe 4 or 5 days. I've been feeding baby brine shrimp from the hatchery over here. And what I've also been doing is supplementing baby brine with some of this stuff, some of this Hikari first bites. The fry seem to go for it and they seem to eat it. And I'm not sure if the fry are dying off, if the parents are ending up eating them, or what might be going on there. What else is new? What else is new? So I had a school of rummy-nose in this 10-gallon. I took all the rummy-nose out, which was quite a chore. There was about 5 rummy-nose in this tank, down from an initial 8 I think I had bought a while back. Catching those fish out of this small 10-gallon planted tank, which isn't even all that heavily planted, but with the driftwood and everything in there, what a chore it was to catch those fish. And what I did was I moved them over into this tank where I had a pre-existing school of rummy-nose that you can see back there behind the incredible dirty glass. So now there's, I don't know, 13 rummy-nose in this tank total. Nice big school of them with this pair of koi angels. A pair in the sense that there's 2. They're not a breeding pair, although I suppose they could be. These are the 2 angels I've had for about a year now. Picked these 2 up as juveniles at about, I'd say, a quarter size. They've grown pretty well, but not nearly as well as the 5 over here. These 5 I picked up at about the same size as those 2 behind me, and these guys are just huge. Like I said recently, I do have some plans to probably move these guys into another tank, free up this tank, and move them around, see what I can do there. I'm just noticing an issue down here with that discus back there. I don't know if he's got gill flukes or just a problem with his gill, but I gotta keep a close eye on that and start treating that. Alright, got called away for daddy duty. That is another reason why I've had barely any time to update anything down here. Between my almost 4-month-old baby and my 5-year-old little girl, well, I'm sorry, 5 3/4. I keep getting corrected on that. Life keeps me quite busy, and I still haven't finished the project in the kitchen that I've been working on for weeks. Tiny little fiddly stuff left. Anyway, something is wrong with his gill. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm going to start treating with Prazi Pro, I think, and some Metroplex as well, because I don't know what else to do. So we'll deal with that later. I'll make sure I get back to some normal maintenance on this tank, get back to my daily water changes as opposed to every 2nd or 3rd day the way I've been doing lately. I've honestly just been slacking. So the rummy-nose got moved over there to make way for what was 2 gold rams that I got from the local fish store, one of which died about 12 hours after I got him home, and I'm left with this one there, which honestly doesn't look so great either. This is why I don't like buying fish from the local fish store too often and would much rather find a reputable breeder to buy from. Every once in a while something catches my eye and I take a risk. Let's see, down here I did lose one of these females that I got from Unite. I still got 4 fish left in the tank to include the 1 male and the other 3 females, and I'm going to go ahead and combine them sooner or later with the rams that are over there in that tank. What else? I still got this little Aqueon Evolve tank, I think it is, that I've been cycling for quite a while. I keep starting to cycle and then I forget to deal with it for a couple of days. I had some Rickia floating in there. What I did was I tied that Rickia off to a couple of pieces of slate. It looks like it's actually grown pretty well because you can't even see the thread that I used to tie it on. Oh, there's some. That's the thread that I used to tie it onto that piece of slate just to keep it at the bottom and sort of give it a carpet look. And then I had one of these little stainless steel mesh suction cup plant things, for lack of a better term. I'm pretty sure that's the technical term, plant thing. And stuck that on the side, and I threw a bunch of driftwood in there. This is in no way a final scape, but I got to admit, I don't hate it. I literally, well, what I did was, if you might remember from a few months back, I got another batch of driftwood from Tom Barr that I've had soaking down here in that tub, and also down here in this tub. It's been soaking for weeks and weeks. I mean, months and months would be a better way to put it. And most of the tannins have leached out to the point where the tannins have stained these plastic tubs that they stay in. So I pulled out my tubs and grabbed some of the smaller pieces of the driftwood that I intend to potentially use in this tank, and I literally just threw them in here. And I don't know, the way they felt was kind of cool in a weird way. I might end up leaving it kind of like that and trying to plant around it. I got some Fluval Stratum. It's the first time I'm trying one of these name brand substrates. Fluval Stratum over here in this bucket that I was cleaning, and I need to continue cleaning before I use it because that stuff can be quite dirty. And I think the plan will be, once I get the substrate in there, I'll probably take a couple of trimmings out of the 20 long and plant this tank with that. And if I can get my hands on a dwarf pufferfish, I think that's what I want to keep in here. I was also contemplating maybe a betta. Never kept a betta before. Never kept a dwarf pufferfish before either. So either one would be new grounds. What else? We got a duckweed and Rickia explosion up here in the 10-gallon planted Tetra tank. The neons are all doing pretty well. That black skirt's doing well, and that Priscilla Tetra's doing well. This is one of those do as I say, not as I do tanks. I should not have that lone Priscilla Tetra, and I should not have that lone black skirt Tetra. Tetras are schooling fish, and there should be a group of their own kind of at least 6 at a very, very bare minimum. This black skirt I've had for, I don't know, 4 years maybe now. This fish has moved houses with me. He's moved into multiple tanks from one tank to another at various different times, and he was part of a larger school to begin with, and I lost all the other fish, and he was the lone survivor for the longest time. Same goes for that Priscilla Tetra. But they should be in a group, just like the neons, to really thrive. But obviously they can live alone. I mean, this guy's lived alone for a number of years already. I wouldn't say he's unhealthy, but I suppose he could be happier if he was in a larger group. This is kind of interesting. This is the tank I used to have some red cherry shrimp in, and I had let the water level drop because I wasn't keeping anything in the tank. So the water level dropped and all this frog bit dropped down, and the roots grew down into the substrates. And then when I filled it back up, a lot of the frog bit stayed planted instead of floating, which is kind of interesting. And then down here, I picked up a couple of more of those Norman's Lampi killifish from the local fish store. They hide in that back corner. I've got a AquaClear hang-on back filter, and that might be too much flow for these little fish. They come out when I feed them. Maybe if I open the top, they'll come out. Maybe not. They're back there. I can see them in the reflection on the glass. But they're cool little fish. I wouldn't mind getting some more of them. What else is cooking in the fish room? Anybody who follows along might remember I went to some pretty great lengths to try to insulate this room with some of that insulation back there. I hung these big heavy insulating curtains over here. Insulated this wall, that wall, lots of different stuff. And now that summertime is here, it is sweltering down here. Let's see if we can take a read at that thermometer up there. See, right now it's reading 88 degrees in the room. Bottom left is the lowest temperature it's recorded recently, which is 84, and the highest of 91. When I got home from work today, it was 91 degrees down here. That's with my dehumidifier running, which probably adds a little heat to the room, and that's with these curtains closed off. So what I had done was I opened up the curtains, and I plugged in the oscillating fan, and that dropped it by 2 or 3 degrees to begin with. I hadn't been thinking of the effects that all the insulation might provide down here in the summertime, when I'm getting evaporation off the tanks of warm water of, 76 or so at the lowest end that I keep these tanks at, up to 82, 84, 85, 86 even on some of these discus tanks. So it warms the room a lot, and I don't keep any windows open or anything, because obviously the intent was to keep the heat in, and I think it worked too well, because now I am sweating my my balls off down here, which is never fun to come down here and do maintenance when you're dripping with sweat. So hopefully I can cool it back off, so that way it's comfortable for me, but not too uncomfortable for the fish. Alright guys, I think that's about it for now. Comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully I'll be back to updating a little more routinely, and I will talk to you guys later.